speaker this evening is Dan Marshall, who is going to tell us how he used the internet to diagnose and treat a medical condition. Spoiler, it wasn't a brain tumor. Presenting that one time that WebMD actually worked, please welcome Dan Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, 5 to 7. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Who here is growing old? That's what I thought. If any of you didn't raise your hands, I get it. I'm in this weird stage of life where I'll be 39 this year, and so it's kind of a thing where I'm not really old, but I'm also not young anymore.
You're right.
I do find I've got a lot of gray hair. I find that I'm suffering from maladies more than I used to when I was younger. I don't heal as quickly. I sprained my ankle about a year or two ago, and it felt like a month or two to fully heal. One reason that I didn't come to the meeting last week, some of you may have noticed I wasn't here, I was laying down to hibernate, and I was struck by a very strong wave of vertigo. And I had been dealing with very mild vertigo for maybe a week or so beforehand, mostly when I got out of bed. But this was the first time ever that I laid down and the room was spinning. And I hadn't had a drop to drink, Bob. I know where you're going to go with that.
You're right.
Not a drop of alcohol. And I laid down and the room, my eyes were open. I could actually see the room going like this. It was very disconcerting. And it kept happening. And it got worse. And so, in typical guy fashion, I just totally ignored it. And then several days passed, and I kept thinking, surely this will go away, surely it will get better. It must just be something I'm eating or not drinking enough water, something. It didn't get any better. And so I started Googling my symptoms, which, has anybody ever done that? Have you ever looked up symptoms online? It's always a brain tumor, right? Like you go to WebMD and you're like, causes for headache, and you click search in Google and links you to WebMD, you click on it, and the very first thing is, common reason that you might have headaches is a brain tumor. So I looked it up. I actually Googled, the thing that I searched was vertigo when laying down. And the very first result was for something called benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, or BPPV. It sounds like an STD, totally isn't, just for the record, not an STD. But it is exactly that. It's benign, which means that it's not really a major health concern. It's more annoying or disconcerting than it is a genuine cause for concern. Paroxysmal, I actually have no idea what that means, so we'll just forget about that. Positional, meaning usually happens when you lay down or sometimes when you get up. For me, it was definitely way more when I laid down. And vertigo. So I found what was wrong with me. And then I started reading about it, and it said that one of the cures was surgery, which seemed very extreme. And so I'm a worrier, and so I immediately thought, great, I'm going to have some kind of surgery on my ear or head or something. Of course, I'm sure lots of people think I need surgery on my head. So I started reading, though, that there are actually a few ways to solve this from home. There are two very common ways to fix this as a home remedy, and they'll do it in the doctor's office too, but it's something that you can try on your own. One is called the Epley maneuver, which is the most common treatment in the United States. The other one is called the Seamont maneuver, which is the most common treatment in Europe. And so before I get too much into the treatments, I should probably tell you what causes BPPV. I didn't know this, by the way. Inside the ear, in the very deep inner ear canal, this is like past the eardrum even, there is a chamber where there are small crystals, and sort of a liquid. I guess you could call it like a slurry. There's a slurry inside your head that your body uses to tell when you're moving. And with BPPV, those crystals can become dislodged and they can go into a part of the ear where they're not supposed to be. And that's what causes the vertigo. When you stop moving, the slurry is still, this sounds really gross, sorry. The ear slurry is continuing to move slightly, and that's what throws off your brain. Your brain thinks, I'm still moving, but it's not getting any movement signals from your body, and that's where the vertigo comes in. I'm sure I'm completely butchering the explanation for this, so if anybody's a doctor, just ignore what I'm saying. So one of the ways that you can solve this is the Epley maneuver. It was designed by Dr. John Epley, and it is very simple. They actually have a big warning on the website, probably for liability purposes. It says, like, don't do this alone at home. You know, you could have like a stroke or something. Whatever. I like to live dangerously. So I did this on my own at home, and it took about 10 minutes. And what you do is you take a pillow and you put it on the bed, and you lay down so that the edge of the pillow is about at the shoulder level, and your head is angled down at about a 45-degree angle. When you lay down like that, you're immediately going to be struck by vertigo, which I was. You wait about 30 seconds after the vertigo subsides, and then move your head from the 45-degree angle this way to the 45-degree angle this way. You again wait for the vertigo to subside, plus another 30 seconds or so. And then you sit up very quickly, and again are struck with a wave of vertigo and wait for it to pass. And this time you want to wait about 10 minutes because you can apparently get struck with additional waves of vertigo after you sit up. So I did that. Took, like I said, 10 minutes maybe. I probably didn't even wait the full 10 minutes after sitting up because, again, I like to live dangerously and I don't really follow directions well. What was crazy though is it worked. I did this one time. I read on the website, it said, oh, you might have to do this like, you know, for every day, like do this every day until the symptoms go away. And I did it once and it worked. And so I just wanted to share with you that sometimes online remedies actually do work. And so that is how I saved myself a $15 copay at the doctor's office by following the Epley maneuver on YouTube. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dan.